Hi, I'm Sandy Maxx, and welcome to this special episode of The Arts Page. We are on location at the Milwaukee Art Museum to share with you an exceptional way that art here has been impacting the education and lives of thousands of young people in our city. For over 40 years, the Milwaukee Art Museum has been inviting students from 3rd through 5th grade to explore art in depth through their Junior Docent School Program. Over the course of 3 years, these students get an insider's look at the artworks at the museum while discovering how the history and language of art influences their daily lives. Come follow the 5th graders of Milwaukee's ALBA School as they take everything they've learned and prepare to become official junior docents.
Art belongs to everyone, and everyone should experience it, and there is some bit of joy that can happen between you personally and an experience at the Art Museum.
The Milwaukee Art Museum is Wisconsin's largest art museum. There are more than 30,000 artworks in the museum's collection, ranging from classic pieces from ancient times to modern contemporary art. With many of these world-class works of art on display in over 40 galleries, this makes the Milwaukee Art Museum a premier resource to understand the breadth of the history of art.
We are a collection of collectors, so it's been the generosity of people in Wisconsin who have made this institution and made it as great as it's been. Our mission is to display and conserve works of art, but also to interpret and educate. That's as much a part of our mission as anything else. And so it's very important that we have a variety of programs for all ages, from really 0 to 99, and we do the whole gamut.
We are going to learn today about art or the projects that other people, artists did.
Exactly. The Junior Docent Program is our signature school program. When I first came to the museum, we served more of the surrounding counties than we actually did the Milwaukee Public Schools. And one of my goals was to really get us deep in Milwaukee Public Schools. It's our surrounding area, and that those kids really have an opportunity to come to the museum. So we began to take all of the grants we got and really put it into our Junior Docent Program, which is a 3-year program, 3rd to 5th grade. And it's an opportunity for kids to really get to know the museum, to have a sense of ownership in the museum, to begin with a very positive experience, to begin to learn how to talk about works of art and be comfortable doing that. And it has proven over the years, over the 42, almost 43 years, to be an outstanding program and one that has a really long life.
The Junior Docent School Program began in the 1970s under the guidance of Barbara Brown Lee, who is the head of education at the Milwaukee Art Museum for over 50 years.
There was a docent here by the name of Helen Mclaughlin, and she was doing tours for a school, the Golda Meir School here in Milwaukee, with the 3rd grade teacher, who was really the French teacher. And she had been working with him for many years, and he was, I think, completely bored with hearing this same mantra over and over again. And he said to her, his name was Antoine Lentier, and he said to her, well, let's change the tours, and that'll help me and it'll help the children. I had been taught to create object lessons. You'd pick an object and you'd research it and write about it. And I loved it. I said, Tony, what would you think if we did different things each year? Because he came for 3 years with the same students. So between Tony and Helen, they kind of carved this out. The kids loved it, the parents loved it, and it turned into, I think, a very special program.
So we're going to start with ancient, and we're going to go to contemporary, and hopefully, if all goes well, we're going to cover about 2,000 years of art.
It started with just 4 schools, and currently we have 53 schools represented, and those schools include a lot of Milwaukee public schools, charter schools, private schools as well. And it's a 3-year commitment for schools and teachers. Each year, from 3rd grade, 4th grade, and 5th grade, the students come on 3 field trips per year, and in their final year, they complete a research project based on a favorite piece of artwork from the collection.
So thick, it made it very difficult to cut.
Hello.
On a typical tour, the students arrive at the student entrance and are greeted by the docent that will be taking them on their tour.
A docent is a trained volunteer who leads visitors of all ages on group tours through a museum's galleries.
How about right here? Can we all have a seat right here? Let's sit right on the floor. Is that all right with you? How many people have been here before? And this is the Milwaukee Art Museum, and it's just a beautiful place, isn't it?
Then we talk about what tour they're going to be taking.
Well, today we're going to do a big overview where it's called Antiquities to Contemporary.
Then we jump into the galleries. And usually the children would see 8 to 10 pieces.
Pilgrim is someone who moves for a religious reason. These guys look like the people from the Netherlands, but they're actually from England.
Now let's keep going.
In the Junior Docent Program, in the 3rd grade, we begin by having kids explore works of art and learn about them through their senses.
Also, we have ears that hear, nose that smells.
The students start building an art vocabulary to help them investigate how line, shape, color, and texture make up a work of art.
In the 4th grade year, students learn a little bit about portraiture and how that ties into history, and it ends with community traditions, where all students, no matter where they come from or what their background is, can find a personal connection in the collection.
In their final year, 5th graders experience 4 tours at the museum to extend their learning. The students begin with a tour of American history through art.
The guy who has the power is in the blue hat, which stands for the North. So you can tell the whole history of the Civil War from this wonderful painting if you know somewhat of what artists do and if you look at the details.
Our docents are a really important part of this program. A big priority is trying to engage the students in learning through art.
This is New York. Most of the people on the street came from somewhere else. New York is a big place for immigrants. I want you to look at this painting and decide for yourself whether they came for religious reasons, or whether they came for economic reasons, or did they come for political reasons? A political reason to come to America. What in the painting led you to think that?
Many countries, some things that are allowed here weren't allowed in other places.
You were paying very good attention.
Especially with the junior docents, we also want to take time at each art piece to talk about the artist and the title and when the piece was acquired and different things that they're going to need to learn for down the road.
The artist, Thomas Cole, was a person who started a group of painters that painted the American wilderness. And when these paintings were seen in Europe, they were amazed.
We have these wonderful people that are willing to give their time and teach off these objects, make them come alive.
So they decided to start painting on canvas. Now I'll pass this around. Canvas is cloth.
The amount of knowledge and storytelling that they are able to provide the students is a really positive interaction.
In the early 1800s, they developed tubes of paint, so they could now, instead of having to be in the studio and taking rock and grinding it and adding oil to it, they could put it in a tube.
For their second tour, 5th graders explore the vast history of art on a tour called Antiquities to Contemporary.
The Catholic Church also paid for a lot of artists to do their artwork. So that's why we see a lot of the artwork of this time being about religion. So what did you observe from the ancient Egyptian to here?
That the art has changed since the ancient parts of the world.
The world has changed since the ancient times. Very well said. Yeah, good observations.
The idea of the tour is to help students remember all of the pieces of artwork that they've seen over the last 3 years in their visits here and really choose one that resonates with them personally.
Once a student selects an art piece to focus on, he or she will spend more quality time with that chosen artwork during the third tour, called Study and Sketch.
The first half of the 90-minute session, we're modeling presentation skills, where the docent is showing them how to stand in front of the painting, how to use proper voice projection and talk about items of interest, technique, or the historical period it was painted in.
So if you've seen a Campbell's soup can in your house, you know that it's usually red and white, right? So here the artist, Andy Warhol, who was famous for taking common everyday materials like a soup pan and turning them into something artistic with color, size. He makes it big and bold so we can't ignore it.
And then they have the last half of the 90-minute period to sketch it and to answer some questions in a workbook so that they're really thinking about the painting as they're looking at the painting and starting to kind of formulate in their own mind how they will present it to friends and family on graduation day.
It feels realistic every time that I draw something. It just makes me feel more calmer.
Ooh, yeah, I love to walk around and see the sketching. Yeah, that's a lot of fun. I love to watch the children do their interpretation of what they saw or why they liked it.
Every picture has a different story to it, and that's why the artist made it look like that. And I just like learning. It's really fun.
We have kids of all different languages, all different backgrounds. It's wonderful when a child that does not really speak the language sits down with that pencil and paper and starts drawing, and you see that connection between that child and that piece of work, and words don't matter at all.
I chose to draw it because I like the colors on it. They look cool and light and a little bit of darkness on the sides. And also because I wanted to give myself a challenge instead of drawing something easy.
I really think it's important for everybody to feel welcome in this space. I know a lot of people think of art museums as a very elitist kind of environment. I'll tell you, when you see the kids laying on the floor copying an artwork, you realize how important it is to have that community integration.
These students are from Milwaukee's ALBA School.
ALBA stands for Academia de Lenguaje y Bellas Artes, which is the Academy of Language and Fine Arts. ALBA is a bilingual school. All of our 500 students speak Spanish as their first language. So they come to ALBA because ALBA is a school that focuses on developing their Spanish alongside with their English, so that as they learn English, they can also keep growing in their native language.
The students really enjoy being part of the Junior Docent Program. It's really building their skills and confidence to be able to go into the museum and relate to works of art, explain works of art, really transfer the things that they're learning inside the classroom to be able to go in and understand how other people communicate through artwork.
Excellent, good eye, yes.
So fifth graders get to do a capstone project where they get to pick their very favorite piece that they want to, first of all, recreate, and then also that they want to research enough to be able to be a docent explaining that piece of artwork.
I like flowers, and I wanted to know why the artists choose kind of sad colors.
What you saw today was some sculpture, some painting.
I'm painting
this type of painting that's called like wet. Like you have to do it light so that it doesn't do it very hard. So it looks neat.
With the sky, it's tricky. Like making the little swirls because then it all gets together.
Some things worked out in cardboard. You saw kids choosing clay. So however they chose to manifest those pieces.
This is one of the hardest things I've done, but I'm very confident that about this I will do good.
After spending 3 years investigating, connecting with, and recreating art, the final tour is the graduation ceremony, where the students earn the title of Junior Docent.
They bring their work of art and they present it and the real work of art to their friends and family.
The title of this artwork is Teddy Roosevelt the Rough Rider. The sculpture was made in Milwaukee, Wisconsin in the year 1910. The things that I learned during making this artwork was planning what to do and how to use clay a little bit more.
My painting is called Gossip Junction. The painting was made in 1968 by Antoine Aubin. I think that the hardest part of my painting was painting the people because they are so many different shapes and they are so detailed. I learned that artwork is not just work, it is fun because you can be creative.
They come just really fired up to talk about what they've done and what they've learned.
The artwork that I studied and recreated is called Still Life with Flowers 1918 by Joan Miró. If this work of art could talk, I think it would say, I have sad colors but bright colors. Sad because my painter was sad when he painted me, but bright because he did not give up.
I'll be speaking about Wendell Castle and his beautiful sculpture named The Walking Cabinet. I chose this artwork because it is very colorful and it is a very big sculpture. When I see this artwork, I see lots of colors, including light ones and dark ones. If this artwork could talk, I think that it will say that it is very happy or excited.
My artist's name is Kees van Dongen. One of his favorite paintings that he made was Woman with Cat, which is the painting that I copied. I like this painting because when I look at it, I feel confident and relaxed. When I look at the colors, they tell me to be brave and be confident.
Their friends and family come, and we go through all the galleries with a small group, and each child then is presenting their work of art.
The title of my artwork is Campbell Soup by Andy Warhol. This was made in the year 1965. I chose this piece of art because of the pop art colors. There are some primary colors here and there, but it's usually a mix of all the colors.
The artwork makes me feel happy because it looks like a sculpture about friendship because it has a triangle and a square being together. I think that art is a challenging subject for me, but art can be interpreted differently by other people. When I look at the artwork, it makes me feel good because people could see it right now and could be inspired by it.
The title of my painting is called Sunset in Georgia. The artist is George Innes. The first time I saw this painting, I felt like I was in Georgia watching the sun go down because it looks so realistic. The thing people should think about this painting is that if we don't keep our earth clean, we won't have any more beautiful sunsets like this one, and we won't have a beautiful world.
They've learned enough about the art and how to talk about the art and how to present art to their friends and family that they're ready to be pinned as a junior docent.
Parents get to pin the docent pin on their student at the graduation ceremony. Many of the parents are very grateful and impressed by how well their students deliver a presentation, how the program develops their public speaking skills, and how well they are able to connect with the piece of artwork.
It was awesome. I feel very proud of her. Yeah, I didn't know she could do so much. About her being brave enough to, speak in front of her classmates and being able to present her her artwork. So it was really awesome. I've never been to the art museum before, so it was an awesome experience.
Everything about the whole art program was fabulous and absolute greatness. I liked it.
His courage to go up there and speak with, in front of the public and just, be a leader for a lot of the youth for a lot of his classmates. He seemed a little nervous. A lot of the kids didn't know much. That's a good thing. It was a beautiful thing. So proud of all the kids.
Over the last 40 years, the Junior Docent experience has had a lifelong impact on thousands of students.
For the longest time, I actually didn't know that I was a junior docent. I experienced the program, and then for years afterwards, it was, oh, I did a bunch of things at the art museum when I was a kid and took all these tours and learned about all this art. And I see a direct path from the junior docent exposure and program and learning to my career as an artist and art educator. As a junior docent, I think I was encouraged to ask questions, to follow my curiosities, to really try to understand the work as a young person. And now teaching young people, I feel better connected to what those thoughts might be, where those curiosities may lie.
So these are like live things that actually happen?
They're historical things.
And what the Junior Docent Program offered us as students was we were engaged in the act of interpreting. I do know those experiences, those early experiences of feeling so comfortable inside of a museum, not just as a viewer, but then also as an active participant in interpreting art, that I can go and I have the permission to participate actively and freely. Programs like this that have been successful, that do invite young people into experiences of arts and culture that's what we need.
Jacob, did you have a special reason why you picked this work of art to present?
I like the shape.
The shape is very interesting, isn't it? That's a great answer, yes.
Painters use red, so people can kind of notice the painting.
That's right. It draws your eye, doesn't it?
These students get so excited and learn so much and are able to share that with other people that, it's why I get up and do my job.
The funnest part has been to make art.
I think they learned about not only the works of art, they learned about what museums do, how they do it, why they do it, and they can perform for their parents. That was the most exciting for me. That was my treat. Then I knew we had done something good.
They really get a deep understanding of what it means to be a docent, what it means to be an expert that is a guide to other people, because they've become the experts themselves.
An interesting fact about Isamu Noguchi is that he has traveled all around the country making sculptures. If I could ask him a question, it'd probably be, what is the best sculpture you have created so far in your life?
I know they're going to go on and they're going to be better prepared for middle school and high school than most of their counterparts in the public school system, because they've gone through this really focused program.
To be in a program like this, you may discover your passion is art. Or if not, maybe it's just an appreciation for art.
When I grow up, I wish I could be like an artist. If they want to, they could put my artwork in the art museum.
It gives kids the opportunity to learn beyond the classroom and understand that the world is a learning space.
This program, it gives the students that freedom to walk in these rooms and feel at home. And I would want that for every person in Milwaukee.
Congratulations, 43rd Junior Docent class for the Milwaukee Art Museum.
Over 150,000 students have become junior docents since this program began in 1976. What an incredible legacy of arts education right here in Milwaukee. The Milwaukee Art Museum's commitment to continuing to foster arts education for all ages is impressive. You can get involved. Find out more about the Junior Docent School Program and other opportunities to learn about artworks at the museum by visiting the Milwaukee Art Museum's official website, mam.org. What art in our area has been inspiring to you? Is there a local artist or arts organization that has made an impact in your life? If you think their story would make a great feature for our show, let us know. Please call us at 414-797-3746 3760 with your comments and your story ideas. If you want to see more of the art and artists featured on the Arts page, you can stream our over 200 previous episodes online when you visit the Milwaukee PBS website at milwaukeepbs.org and click on the Arts page. You can find Milwaukee PBS on Facebook too. I'm Sandy Maxx. Thank you for watching, and please join us next time for another half hour full of art on the Arts page.